Hey guys, Phil Swift here. I missed. Corona. I'm back on YouTube. Set changed again. I don't know if you noticed, but that's because we're in a special time right now. This is Coronacation, or Rona break, or let me redo that. It is coronavirus season. It is Coronacation. It is Rona break. I'm out of names. But needless to say, my campus closed the fuck down, so I have to go back home. And now we're here, and now I have nothing better to do with my time than make these stupid fucking videos, so here we go. What am I missing? Oh right, I gotta do a stupid fucking guitar thing. Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Harrison Turner, and welcome to my wardrobe. That's where you currently are, because this room is very small. So today, I'm doing another list video. Shocker, I know. I've wanted to do a best songs list for a while, and I had considered with a lot of artists like Iron Maiden, Led Zeppelin, Kanye West, Death Grips, all these artists that have these really long and very stylistically varying sounds. But I was having a really hard time narrowing it down that way. But then one night, at 2 in the morning, after studying for 2 midterms and doing 2 labs, I came to a grand revelation. Beach House. I should make this video about Beach House. This wound up working a lot to my benefit because there aren't as many tracks I have hang-ups about leaving off the list, and that's not a slight against the band. Spotify told me I was in their top 1% of fans. I fucking love Beach House, but their music has a very clear divide in quality. It's either pretty good or it's a fucking transcendental experience. No in between, no worse, no better. It narrows my job down a lot. And now we're here. Now I'm making the video right now. That's what I'm currently doing at this very moment. This isn't going to be a super long video because I have a lot less to say about individual songs as opposed to full albums, who would have guessed, but for the sake of time, let's just get started. Obviously, this is a list of studio releases from the dream pop outfit Beach House. Now, if you don't know who Beach House is and you feel like an empty chasm inside, that's probably why you don't listen to enough Beach House. And if you're one of these unfortunate people, take this as a guide to help feel like your life's got a purpose, even if for a small sliver of time. Like I said, I fucking love Beach House. I do not kid around. I take this shit very seriously. Without further ado, here we are with number 10. To begin this list, I decided to put a song off their most recent 2018 released 7, and that song is the opening track, Dark Spring. Now, despite the fact that this track is at the bottom of my list, don't take that lightly, because I would describe all of these songs as having some sort of godlike quality, and Dark Spring is no different. This song is a little bit jauntier, I guess you could say, compared to most Beach House tracks, thanks in large to the drums being a little bit more animated than they usually are. The vocal line on the verses are very stripped back, reserving themselves to 1 syllable per measure, being doubled by a very nice synth effect. Speaking of the effects on the vocals are a lot more reverb heavy and saturated in layers and chorus, and it creates this very kind of ethereal feeling, which is very standard for Beach House, don't get me wrong, but since it comes entirely from the vocal line rather than the instrumentation, it's a little bit different. It's a little darker. While this feeling makes it stand out in the Beach House discography, which can get a little bit repetitive, I will be the first to admit, when the typical Beach House sound is done right, I just find it a little bit more rewarding. But that doesn't take away anything from this song. It's still an excellent track that I would highly, highly recommend you check out. Number 9 is a song about a black and white horse, or as humans so expertly named it hundreds of years ago, zebra. Come on guys, get it together. This song uses a guitar melody progression that alternates between 2 notes at any given point, which is something that Beach House likes to do occasionally. The verses are very glitzy and a little bit minimalistic, although the second one does pick up a little bit, with a light and fluffy drum part that starts to build more tension as the song progresses, and a very reserved and kind of deeply mixed synth part. The chorus is easily the catchiest part of this song, even though it has the whole black and white horse thing, which is admittedly a cute line, even though I'm poking a little bit of fun at it. But the chorus is just excellent. It instrumentally barely deviates from the verses, but the note choice and the slightly more present synths just add a very unique flavor that I truly cannot overstate the effect it has on me. It's just an amazing experience. Jumping to the band's 2015 record, Depression Cherry, for our number 8 spot, we have a very, very pretty and very spacey track titled PPP. Insert dick joke here, I'm well aware. This song is an interesting one because I really don't have a lot to say about it, despite the fact that it's one of my favorite songs by the band. The most notable thing I can think of to mention is the progression. The triad descents are quite possibly one of the simplest lead parts they've ever written. I'm pretty sure I wrote half of it when I was like 12. But that's not a bad thing, because to this day, I still fully remember that progression. That's the leg Beach House stands on. Everything they write is written with the mindset of how memorable is it, how well does it stick in the listener's head, rather than complexity being an issue. The song keeps that mentality in the instrumentation, but not entirely in the vocals, because some of the vocal passages in this song have a little bit more of a free-flowing Lou Reed, Jim Morrison type vibe to them. That being said, most of the lines are pretty memorable and well structured, but these short segments make it feel a lot more loose, and that's a really big appeal for me of this track. Even a large majority of the more rigid vocals feel a lot more relaxed until you get to the back end of the song with the melodic ahs drifting in the back of the mix. It's one of the most popular songs, and for good reason, I feel. Check this one out. This next song is actually a song off their first record, their self-titled Beach House album. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I like their first two records. I think they're solid dream pop albums, but they've never been as impactful to me as the band's later works like Bloom would be. However, this song, House on the Hill, is one of the few moments on their early discography that truly resonated with me on a gut level, you know? Alex's fingerpick guitars on this song create this almost folk-sounding aesthetic that starts supporting these long and sustained vocal harmonies, which actually don't take up much presence on the track, because this song only has 8 lines in total. The synths come in as this wall of sounds about a minute into the song, but despite that, they still reflect the kind of hollow nature that's conveyed, especially right at the beginning. This simple piano melody drifts in and out of frame, and you're going to hear me use the word simple pretty frequently, because despite how much stuff it feels like is going on in a Beach House song, the songs are very basic, like I mentioned a little bit earlier. But that's kind of why they're so amazing, because if there was a lot going on in any given song, the desired tone and effect just wouldn't be there, and this song perfectly exemplifies that. Here at number 6, we have a song titled On the Sea. Now, what makes On the Sea such a special track, you might ask? I don't perfectly know, to be honest with you. I adore this track, but it's a really hard track for me to kind of pin down. I think the biggest thing that makes this track stick out to me is a lot of the little stuff. The various guitar parts of the song are far from pronounced, but whenever they're there, they add this very subtle tension that keeps this slightly unorthodox, at least unorthodox by dream pop standards, plodding, but very compelling keyboard part from feeling out of place aesthetically. In the second half of the song, another synth part comes in, very quietly playing the standard Beach House arpeggios that adds a very soft and lush texture. And obviously, Victoria's vocals on the song are absolutely incredible. Out on the sea, I'm not doing it. Out on the sea, we are forgiven. Crack diddly-ocious, holy fuck. Hey, my computer's at 69%. It's such a great opening line to what's a very emotionally challenging song about the concepts of death and the great unknown that comes with it, otherwise known as par for the course for Beach House. This one just goes the extra mile, talking about wanting to know how far you have left to go, which is a kind of fucked lyric, but it's part of the reason I love this song. All of these elements make this song so beautifully tragic and powerful and good. Bringing up the middle of our list is a beautiful song by the name of Silver Soul. Holy hell, does this song make me feel so goddamn happy. That's kind of the biggest reason I like this song. It just makes me feel really good. I mean, most Beach House songs do, don't get me wrong, but this one particularly doesn't also fill me with any complex emotions or like a bittersweet, nostalgic, happy feeling. It just makes me feel good, and I love it for that reason. I could go into the fucking inner mechanisms of this song like I have with the others and talk about the great performances Victoria and Alex gave, but I really don't feel like I need to. This track is just an amazing, feel-good song, and that's all you really need to know about it, so let's keep going. Number 4 comes from one of the band's slightly more underwhelming projects, in my opinion, Thank Your Lucky Stars. However, this track is anything but a disappointment. I'm talking about the potently fabulous orchestral piece, Elegy of the Void. I love the note choice in the verse vocals. The ascent between the second to last and last syllable are infectious in a way that sticks in your head. Victoria's contralto range is also a very great fit into this style of songwriting. It also helps that the synthetic orchestra, which is an incredibly haunting composition, beautifully complements the melody line. I especially love when the guitar comes in, doubling the synth viola while the again and again line happens, which is just an incredibly powerful moment in the song. As the drums and lead guitar part come in, the orchestra starts to fade away and lets the guitar part breathe a new life into the song with this very simple riff that's entirely made by the quiet distortion effect. It sounds like reserved chaos, which fits the themes of witchcraft and religion very well. Yeah, not much more to say about this one. It's just an absolutely phenomenal track. Space Song. Moving on. Alright, I should probably explain why I love this song so much. This song was actually my introduction to Beach House. My good friends Connor and Toby played it one night while a bunch of us were just sitting around a fire, and it was the first song that I had heard in a very long time that elicited this emotion in me that it did. I had never heard of dream pop at all by that point, and of all the songs on this list, this song has individually changed the way I listen to music more than any of them. That doesn't by default make it my favorite, but it shows how deep of a connection I feel to the song, and should be a very good indication to the credibility I hold of Beach House's best material. Obviously, the song has great synths, sustaining chords, and incredibly earwormy vocals, and is the perfect length and perfect production and tragic lyrics and perfect everything. But easily, the most impressive element of this track are the instrumental melodies. Let me get real with you for a second. If God exists, Alex's lead guitar part is his gift to mankind. I really can't describe it beyond that point. It's holy. It's absolutely perfect. The synth part that plays at the chorus is almost equally as transcendental, and the two combined make the song the quintessential Beach House experience, in my opinion. If you're gonna listen to one song on this list, listen to this one. I know we still have two more to go through, but trust me when I say this is the best possible introduction to the band.
Hey, it's Harry's editor Sim Boy Ollie here, just to sell you on the song a bit more. I also heard Space Song for the first time at this gathering Harry was describing. It is truly an extremely beautiful, powerful, atmospheric, spacey song. It's my personal favorite Beach House song. It's also one of my favorite songs, period. Yeah, good stuff. Give it a listen.
For our runner-up slot, just how we had the opener of 7, we now have the closing track, Last Ride. Most Beach House songs are very nostalgic and a little uplifting feeling with some subtle, bittersweet undertones, but this song, on the other hand, is pretty much just straight sad, which I guess is a good testament to my mental state that I put this at number 2. This song is a little bit longer than most Beach House tracks, sitting at exactly 7 minutes long, and it's on the album 7. I can't really blame them for that. I probably would have done the same. In the context of the tone of the track, the piano part in the first half of the song is one of my favorite piano parts ever written. It's so elegant, it's so minimalistic, it's so perfect. Restart. Cool. On top of it, there's this whirring guitar to fill in the empty hole, along with these occasional warbly and sweeping embellishments from the synth and guitar. The plodding bass line keeps the song from dragging too much, and these rich, saturated, reverby vocal harmonies that we heard on tracks like Dark Spring float in the background and let the melody shine through. Midway through it, the song starts to pick up a little bit with these string parts illuminating in the background, and everything starts slowly boiling up. As it reaches its climax, which is a lot less defined than you'd expect from that amount of tension, but I think that's a very good thing in the context of how subtle the track is and how subtle the band is in total. As it reaches this climax, everything starts to fall away, except these droning guitars echoing in the nebulous void as the album closes. If I haven't painted a good enough picture to make you want to listen to this song, then I'm not doing a very good job. Before going to number 1, I just wanted to shout out one song called The Hours. Even though I said I had a much easier time, which is still true, there were still a few songs that really pained me to not be able to talk about, and this song in particular is one that I really wanted to mention. It's got one of the best guitar parts that the band has ever written and an enchanting vocal line for most of the song. Keyword most. The only reason that it's not on this list is because the song has a 10-second intro that I just absolutely fucking hate. I cannot stand it. And it's really tragic that the song had to open that way, because without that intro, this song would probably be on the top half of this list, honestly. The competition up here is fucking stiff, and that intro just breaks it for me. Just wanted to mention it because it's still a great song. Just get past that part. For my number one slot, if you know Beach House, you know there's still a really big song that I've been missing so far. Don't worry, I've got it. Myth is my absolute favorite Beach House song. I decided this before I even made the list. It wasn't even a challenge. This is one of the greatest songs I've ever heard in my life. It's also the riff I played at the beginning of the video. To describe why the song is so amazing, I think we need to break it down really quickly. The song is a little drum intro that leads into a synth arpeggio and a simple two-note guitar part, like I talked about earlier. The song has this little drum intro that leads into a synth arpeggio and a simple two-note guitar part, like I mentioned earlier. Most of the song maintains this idea. The progression keeps it interesting. Did I mention how beautiful the progression is? Okay. The verse kicks in. The vocal line is equally as simple as the rest of the song, but in a very complimentary way. Drums pick up a little for the second verse. You're having the time of your life listening to the musical equivalent to an angel's kiss. And after the second verse is over, this refrain comes in with these absolutely gorgeous and bright strum chords, and the synth part adds this subtle shimmer in the background. And Victoria comes back in. Find yourself in a new direction. I totally fucked that up. Holy shit. Except she doesn't fucking suck like I do, and it's amazing, and it's so good. Words cannot describe the emotions I feel in that refrain every fucking time. Holy shit, I'm getting really worked up. Another verse comes in and you're just in this really weird vibe. You're happy, you're sad, you're nostalgic, you're horny, I don't know, and just a lot of weird feelings going on. The verse finishes and this solo comes in. The solo follows a very similar structure to the vocal line, but it's trem-picked and it's amazing. The tone of Alex's guitar throughout the whole song is without flaw. It fits perfectly within the aesthetic. The vocal performance is one of the most effective of the fucking decade. The lyrics are about the power of imagination and being in the moment, and it's so wholesome. I love this song with every fiber of my being. If I had to choose between this song and my parents, it would be a toss-up, quite frankly. And that's all I have to say about that. Thank you guys for watching my video. In case I haven't made it clear enough, I'm really passionate about this band. They've been a hugely defining part of the start of my college experience. I'm sorry if this video got a little bit repetitive. It's just Beach House's material almost universally shares a lot of common elements, and those are the elements that I tend to enjoy the most. As always, thanks to links to his Twitter and Instagram in the description, along with a link to my Twitter. If you want to check any of these songs out, link to them on YouTube will be here as well. Be sure to subscribe and tell me what you thought of the video. Agree, disagree, call me a dipshit, whatever you want. I'm always happy to discuss with you guys. I know someone's calling me a dipshit because I didn't include Master of None. Sorry. My friends have already called me dipshit for not putting Space Song in the top slot. But you know what? It's my list, not theirs. And if you've got a problem, Oliver and Toby, you can eat my shorts.
You know what, Harry? Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Shit, you got me 6 ways fucked up. Damn, son.
But yeah, that's about it. This is Harrison Turner signing off, and I hope you have a great day.